This is Paul. See, verily I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me. Yeah. He that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. Yes. Now, I just want you to realize, yes, it is not the government's job to prevent loss. Yes. You, the business owner, have an obligation to read the contract. Yes. And those that enter into contracts for franchises, let's look at the franchises today and the franchisors and franchisees. There are a lot of quacks and gurus out there that if they can get you to sign a contract, and if you happen to lose all that you own because of a contractual obligation, you're stupid enough to let that happen. Poop. Now, for the government to say that we have no contractual obligation to protect the stupid, yes. Here's how this works right now. The government has no contractual obligation to protect the stupid. It's your money. It's your obligation to educate yourself about what the business is before you enter into the contract. Yes. Now, it is the obligation of the government to not look at the physical person, the appearance of an individual. The equal protections of the law mean that you have the equal right to earn an income, yes, and the equal right to lose what you own. This is the equal protections of the law. Now, let's say you got into some sort of contractual franchise obligation, yes, and you found that somebody else in a similar franchise, yes, received less as a percentage of the actual profitability of the franchise, yes. It's not the government's job to decide what businesses that you involve yourself in. I decide the contract, yes, and the conditions of the contract and how I want to market my innovations and my products. Yes. You do not have any obligation to do business with me. Now, if you don't think what I'm doing is going to be profitable to you, then don't sign the contract. You don't want to do the work. Don't involve yourself in the business. Now, I've had a lot of marketing. In fact, I paid $5,000 once for a marketing plan to be able to present seminars in high schools in Vancouver and in Portland. And when I received the actual packet of information and I evaluated what the marketing plan was, it was worth the $5,000. It really was. Now, the problem is if I don't do the work, I don't make the money. And at that time, I did the work, but it was a credit crisis. Yes. And everyone thought that their money was in real estate and to take into consideration how to position your finances before applying for financial aid didn't make a lot of sense to people. Yes. Because it was in 2008, 2009, and the truth is, yes, in Vancouver and Portland, house prices had gone up 300%. Now, the business climate that I was doing business in was not conducive to people wanting to hear me. It was not the marketing plan. Yes. And it wasn't for me having a lack of marketability. Yes. It was the fact that real estate always goes up, and why would I care about how much it costs to send my child to school right now? Now, this is a risk in business, the actual business climate. Yes. Now, 2, 3 years later, in 2011, 2012, yes, a lot of people that lost, 50% of the value of their property would have been a lot more responsive to what I had to say because they didn't have those assets to be able to send their children to school. And they would have seriously considered how to manage their own finances so as to enable themselves to receive more financial aid. Yes. But at the time, the risk was not the marketing plan. It was worth $5,000. And it wasn't me. I actually did the mailings for 12 seminars and I did the legwork and I did the actual plan because it did make sense. Yes. There are conditions outside of business where you, as the business owner, have to consider what the real problem is. It's not the marketing plan, and it's not that you did the work. It was the economic conditions of the society at the time that I was doing the marketing. Mm. It is not the government's